Hello, and welcome to the Spiritualist Circle of Light. This is our dream class. We are continuing to explore Nigel Hamilton's book, Awakening Through Dreams. We're going to talk about, actually, the title of this chapter is The Alchemical Stage of Nigredo. Now, I said earlier that he refers to the alchemical process of refinement. And part of this refinement is this Nigredo, or the blackening stage. And this is the stage of decay where everything breaks down. It's a type of purification process. So, when you purify something, you want the elements that aren't desirable to fall away. And that's what we do with the dreams, is we use them to understand our habits, to understand the patterns that we are going through, the challenges that we are facing. And as part of this blackening process, we're not decomposing, but we're dismantling. And what it is that we're dismantling are those habits, those patterns that no longer serve us. A good way to describe this is purging, and that's what's taking place. So within the dream reality, we look at our dreams as a means of self-examination. And when we do that, it brings to light those sensations, no, not sensations, but those emotions that lie buried within us. Because remember, dreams are driven by emotions. Now, there's one particular dream I've been talking about a lot, which is the one that I had where I was babysitting. I was a babysitter. I never saw the actual child I was babysitting, but I just knew I was babysitting. And the mother comes in, ranting and raving in this fit of hysteria. And at the end of the dream, I woke up furious, angry, because I was accused of something similar on numerous occasions. When you go through a divorce, if any of you have gone through a divorce, when there's kids involved, the mother uses this accusation. They call it the pass syndrome. I think it's called the parental abs. I don't recall what the acronym is, but anyway, the mother makes the accusation of the father molesting the children, and they use this in court as a means of retaining custody of the children. And I had 3 children, one stepdaughter, and this accusation had come up during our custody disagreement, negotiation. I don't know. I don't want to call it a battle, but during the custody issues. But it wasn't that was actually what had caused me to be upset. It was more along the lines of what motivated me to think that way. So I had to do some self-examination. So the dream reality brings up these things that we ignore about ourselves. And these are habits that lie in our past. And if they're not fully resolved, they kind of creep up and disturb the present. And the way they do that is through dreams. So I want to share another revealing dream, which would be, took place at the beginning of October. And I'm able to view the future. Yeah, right. I'm a medium. I'm supposed to be able to do that as part of my training. But, the thing is, when I would touch a person, I would see their future, and I would see this future of extreme sadness. And in order to spare them, I would dispatch them. And the manner of dispatchment is, it's a mystery. I never actually did it in the dream, but I would be talking to them in the dream, and then all of a sudden I would be releasing my grip on a dirk I had used to impale them from here up through the cranium. Now, in the dream, there was no blood. So it's not really a nightmare, but it's disturbing in and of itself. Anyway, without getting I've already gotten too far into it, but I had done this to one particular person. I pulled the dirk out. It was like I was shutting them up. That's why the dirk was there. I was shutting them up. So as I was pulling the dirk out, someone had come to me and had explained that I had dispatched a person who had an important role to play beyond what I had seen. And he said to me, just because you cannot see doesn't mean you don't know what the big picture is. Wait a second. That's all messed up. Let me redo this. So a person came up to me and they said to me, just because you can see doesn't mean you know what the big picture is. I hadn't thought of that. And then we were instantly transported to the North Pole. Or maybe the North Pole had become our location. I don't know. It was a dream. But in any event, I asked the one who was in charge what his secret was, because I knew he had a shortcut for getting us to the proper place, to our destination. And I saw the image of the world, and his body was bent backward, like someone attempting to crack their back. You know how you stretch back like that and you push it up, you kind of dig in and push it up. Anyway, so nestled between his arms and legs was an image of the world. So, bending over, we go with these cliches, bending over backwards to save the world. Of course, now there's a little bit of background to this dream. It just didn't spring up. Parts of it did. But anyway, before the dream, maybe one or two nights before the dream, a member of the Spiritualist Circle of Light approached me about publishing a newsletter. And as part of our conversation, they had asked me to write something. I said, well, I don't know if I can write something that short that's I don't write fluff anymore. And most of the stuff I write, it just What's the cliche with that? Over their head. Whee! Anyway, so, but, when I look at this dream and I consider it, what I took away with this was that, I should be simplifying as much as I can so that others may understand, meaning that I have to dismantle what I am disseminating. I have to try and break it down. And so I've since tried to do that. I don't know how successful I am, but I have tried to do that. And this is what the operation of Nigredo is about, what the operation of the black stage is about. It's about examining these disturbing dreams and considering how they apply to the outer reality. Are they referring to habits? Are they a response to something we've done? Are they illuminating an event? I don't know. But the best thing to do is to break the dream down into smaller pieces, just like a scientist would do, and discover what the disturbance is that is being revealed. So when you have these dreams, I've got the one dream, the last dream I just told you. I'm in the dream. I'm able to see into the future about these people's lives and see the misery that they were experiencing, and I would just dispatch with them, drive the dirk up through the chin, so they would not complain anymore. Like I didn't want to hear their complaints. And so with that, and then someone coming up to me and saying, the one you just dispatched had an important role, meaning that I am I am taking something away because I'm not breaking things down into something that's more simpler. So I'm working on that. And that's what this is about, breaking them down. So let's talk a little bit about cliches and some of the images that we might see in dreams. We're going to talk about cars, the automobile, and what they say to us. They can represent personalities. They can tell us what's going on in our lives. So let's take a gander at this one. So we have someone in a car and they are driving. So if you see someone driving a car, when you're driving a car, what's the cliche there? You're driving along, someone says, "Oh, turn right over here." And you say, "I don't want to go over there. I'm the one in control. I'm going where I want to go." And that's exactly what that means. When you see yourself in a car in a dream, you are in control. So what about this one? All right. Obviously, we're sitting in the back seat. We've got a nice view. We could see out the window. We can see the steering wheel. We can see everything else. What's the cliche? A backseat driver. And what do backseat drivers do? They try to control things, but they're not in control. So how about this one? Well, there's an interesting image there. No, I do not think that actually is somebody there, but it's a nice picture. It's a nice model. We can imagine, if you're having a dream, you may be riding on top of the car, on the roof, on top of the car, or in this instance, on the windshield. And what is this telling us? Think of the cliche. What's the cliche that comes with this? Reminds me of a James Bond movie in Thunderball, I believe it was. The gal, he catches a ride from this gal in her Mustang up to the hotel, and she's doing 90, 100, 110, and get to the hotel, and she stops, and she says, "Oh, I hope you don't mind. I hope the drive didn't frighten you." And he said, "Oh, no. Some men just don't like being taken for a ride." And that's the cliche here. If you dream and you see yourself on top of the car, on top of the hood, on top of the trunk, on the roof, either way, you're being taken for a ride. How about this one? Up, there's our backseat driver. Well, we sort of already talked about this one, so we'll skip it. But it's backseat driver. What else can we glean from this? Let's take another look, shall we? We've got her in the back seat, and we've got someone sightseeing. There we go. Looking out the window, enjoying the ride, relaxing, sightseeing. Let's go for a joyride. Of course, I don't recall having that in the dream too often. I have been a passenger, so perhaps this is what that's in relation to. So someone else is in control. If you see yourself in a car and you're in a passenger seat, that means that you are not in control. Someone else is in control. And even in this instance here, even though she's in the back seat, she's acting as though she were a passenger. So she's not in control. What else have we got here? This is a nice classic car. Cars can represent personalities. They can represent people. All vehicles can do this. Trucks. Uh, uh, and in this particular one here, we've got the old, it's not a jalopy, but it's an old car. It's well kept. This would be, tell us about someone who could be very eccentric. So we're into personalities now with the vehicles. And our next one here, up. What would this tell you about a person? You see a person driving this, what's it telling you about them? You've got all these nice colors, just decals and everything. It's nice and showy. It's flashy. A flash in the pan, a passing thought. That's what it is. It's telling you someone is trying to be flashy. Ah, this is a wonderful one. I believe it's a Charger. But what does this tell you? It's a muscle car. It's got that tough color and everything, puffed up and such. The only type of people that puff themselves up are typically going to be immature people. They sit in a car, they rev it up and everything, tear off down the road. They're acting childish. This would represent a person who is immature. And as we look at the next one here, this is a beauty. Nice and sleek. Oh, yes. Beautiful. What might this say? Well, I don't know. To me, it looks kind of sexy. So, and this is a nice one here. Let's look at this. All right. Nice antique. And where is it at? It is in the garage. This is about as a person who feels as though they've been put away. They're too old. So cliches can play an important role in things. And, you know, cars are one of the many things. Cars can represent a person's personality. They can tell us about whether we're in control or if somebody else is in control, whether we're being taken for a ride. Images that we see in our dreams can reveal a lot. So that's all for this class. I want to thank you for allowing us to share and thank you for visiting. It's wonderful of you to take a look. If you would like a dream interpreted, please feel free to contact us at the Spiritualist Circle of Light Facebook page. You can contact us through Messenger there, or you can go to our website and click on one of the contact buttons, or you can just key this in here. Our email is spiritualistcircleoflight@gmail.com. You want to know what more of what's going on? Go to our website, browse around. We've got articles there for you to read. They keep changing up throughout the month. We have videos there. There are classes that we are putting together, video classes that you can peruse at your own leisure. Thank you very much for visiting with us, and thank you for allowing us to share.